Can you guys hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me now, hopefully. Man, I should have been looking at the screen sooner. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Yes. Okay. Woohoo! Okay, sorry. I love it when I do stuff like that. Okay. So I'll just restart since you couldn't hear me that whole time. But this is the sill that we're going to make. So it's got this cute little stripe on it. And it has these cute little pearls here, which are really fun. So this is the sill that we're going to make. I see Jeannie has an echo. Let me know if anyone else does. I've got the same audio that I normally do. Yes, everything is working. So hopefully that's not everyone's having that. So supplies that you need. This is the stamp that we're going to use today. It's a daisy stamp and it's part of the fall lettering box that's available right now. And then I've also got European gold and cream. So those are the colors that we're using today. I've got a marble pad, 2 spatulas. I forget what this is, but it's like to pick up gems or little beads. And then I've got scissors and I've got both of my waxes in low temp glue guns. And then I do have a lighter here if I need to pop any bubbles. And then the last thing that I have is these little pearls. So I actually organized all my wax seal crafting stuff. You guys will be so proud of me. And how long did it take? It was like 45 minutes. I don't know why. I feel like sometimes I just make things really big in my head and it really didn't take that long. But anyway, it was great because I found a lot of supplies that I was like, oh, I had an idea about to use that and I hadn't yet. So we're going to use some of these little half pearls that are really cute today. So let me know how your day is going. Let me know what you've been up to. It's Saturday, so it's not the normal day that I do live. So I'm excited to hear what you guys are up to on today. So the very first thing, Mary's saying no sound again. Let me know if that's still an issue or if you can still hear, then say we can still hear. I think everything should be going now. Okay. So the very first thing is we're going to take the European gold, which is such a gorgeous color, and we need to make a really thin kind of strip. Okay, so I'm going to pour it. This is parchment paper, and I'm going to get you guys just a touch closer. Janine says she can still hear. Okay, great. Thank you guys. Yeah, sometimes there's just those technical difficulties right at the beginning. So I'm just pouring a bunch of this European gold out. It's a little on the hot side, but I'm not too worried about that because we're just doing a nice thin stripe. And then this, I'm just going to let it cool and then I can pop it off with an X-Acto knife. So this, we need to let it cool now. Let's see what everyone is up to today. Nikita's working on stuff for a design brief and enjoying coffee. I love that. Mary, I gave you an excuse to stop packing today. Totally awesome. Perfect. Take a little break. Okay, so this is cooling, and I'm also going to turn off my wax because it's going to be a little on the warm side. So for this sill, let me show you again. So it's kind of in 2 parts. So first we're going to make the cream part with the stripes, and then we're going to cut it out and press it into the second color. I didn't keep an example one because I cut them all. But if you remember from the past, if you put wax, like a strip of wax like this in, it does kind of change the edge of the sill because you've got wax sticking out. So it kind of makes it bumpy. And sometimes it looks nice and sometimes it doesn't look great. And so that's why I decided to try cutting it out and then putting it into wax again so we get this nice round sill. So let's check this. We're going to know that it's cool when it starts peeling up or peeling off, and it's not doing that yet. So I know that it's not going to be ready. So I might grab this one that I was using from before. I was organizing craft supplies, now watching you. Awesome. It's an organizing day. It's a great day for organizing. So this is a little strip that I had done earlier. And so you can see that it's a little bit see-through, and that's fine. The thinner it is, the quicker it's going to melt into our second color. So we kind of do want it a little bit thin, but not like, but we don't want it super thick, I guess. So you can see it's starting to pill up a little bit here. So I can see if I can pull it. And what's happening is I can feel if I pull, I'm going to tear it. So I need to let it cool just a second more. I picked up a dozen quilts and small wall hangings my talented sister made and will hand them out to family. Wow, that's amazing. Having a relaxing day. I love it, Maria. Those are, sometimes you need a Saturday where you don't do anything. Got a manicure this morning and I'm going to my craft room office to practice still making. A perfect Saturday afternoon. I love it. I love that so much. I feel like most of my Saturdays don't include wax seal making, but I do make wax seals a lot during the week. But that does sound like the perfect Saturday. Just getting some time to make seals. So I'm glad we get to do this together. So you can see in this one how it's thicker here and thinner. So it's still fine either side we use. Just know the thicker it is, the longer it's going to take to kind of melt into the wax. And I would say that you want your wax a little bit on the hot side for this, because you need this wax to melt into the second color. So I'm going to pour this, and that's kind of the perfect temperature, but I want it just a little bit hotter than the perfect temperature. So I'm going to turn it back on while I get these cut. So I usually try to do one straight one, and I won't use that. And then I try to just do little strips. And it's okay. It doesn't really matter if they're super thin or super thick, because you can kind of match up the ones that are thicker, the ones that are thinner, and so on. That one was a little on the thick side. So we'll just cut a bunch of them. And these are pretty thick. Maybe we might do a few of these as a comparison so you can kind of see the difference of the thin versus thick wax. Yeah, so for today, what I have been doing is I got a huge shipment of subscription boxes. So like the boxes that the subscriptions go in, like 50 boxes. And it's like, we got them all moved to the basement, which was really nice, and got 2 new wire racks to put them on. Anyway, and so because of that, I had to clean out my crafting stuff because we needed to organize the whole space. And so anyway, it turned out good because I needed to get that done. And I found a bunch of stuff I forgot about too. Okay, so we've got our cream wax, and before I pour it, I just want to make sure that I have things ready. So I'm just going to grab, I want to grab like 3 that are similar in size, like those 3 maybe. And I'm going to have them ready in my hand, and I'm going to have my stamp ready too, so that I don't get not knowing where stuff is and then my wax cools too much. So I'm going to pour an oval, and I'm going to place the middle one first at a diagonal, and then one above, and then one below. And you can see the wax kind of like folds down as it's melting. And something you can do, this one's being slow. Oh, it finally went. You can go over the top real quick and then press. So let me show you. So that was with the thicker wax that I just did. This was the thinner wax that I had done earlier. And this is the one we just did. So this wax that I have is like this area. It's just not as thick. So let's do another one. So oval shape. I really do like the marble now, where I use it almost every time, because it just helps hold the shape regardless of how hot the wax is. And then I need a stamp. But this color, the metallic in it, when it melts, is so pretty. I'm working on my Halloween and a few breast cancer awareness seals. Oh, I love that. My pour and scrape skills are not too good. Well, you're practicing, right? They're only going to get better if you practice, so I love that. Did you find your cutting mat? Yes, I did find my cutting mat. I didn't find the scoring board, but I think I know where it is now because it wasn't in like my bins that I was organizing. But I did find those. I also found I'm gonna go live tomorrow and we're gonna be using these frames, but I found these again. But there was lots of things that I've gotten because I was like, oh, I need to do sills with this. It's gonna be so cute. And then I just kind of they get buried and then I forget it, you know? So it's gonna be fun. So I am planning to go live tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday. So we're gonna be doing lots of fun, different things. On one of the days, we're gonna be doing sills and some lettering, which will be really fun because I don't often do lettering with the lives, but I do want to show some things that we can do with the lettering box. I guess this was the one we did first, so let's take this one off. So this is what I'm talking about, how like the edge is not usually that great. Like this one's the white wax got pretty cool, so it's very bumpy, where these ones are more like not that bad, especially if I would have popped the bubble, you know? But if we take them off, see, where's my little spatula? Whoops. So then you can see, then you have the stripes going through, and then we're going to cut around the edge. So that one just came right off, and that one. We can make a few more. You can kind of see. So they're not perfect stripes. That one got a little curved, and there's a little bit that came over here, which is okay. But I still think they're really cute. And I did try like a horizontal stripe. And I tried the marbling. The marbling was too busy. It kind of drowned out the flowers, but I feel like this works. And it's just kind of fun. So let's do a few more. I need to turn off my wax. It's a little hot. Love being able to watch live. I'm so glad, Laura. Yeah, I feel like we might get a few different people that we don't normally get because it's a Saturday. Me too. I love my marble, which is a little bigger than yours. Yes, I have, I did also, I need to share it. I got a larger stone that was a gift, and I need to remember the name that was on the paper. But I did make some sills on that this week when I needed to bake a bunch, and it actually worked really great. So I'll probably share that in a Wax Sew Live soon so that you guys can see if you'd be interested in that, because it is a little bit like you're limited to like 3 sills with this little marble pad. So the bigger ones are kind of nice because then you've got more working room. Let's do a few more, and these can cool while we're getting the other ones cut out. So we're just going to kind of set them in. And these ones, because they're so thick, I wouldn't hesitate to add a little more heat. And that one kind of got buried, which is okay. So I would say, I guess you probably, a little thinner is a little better. Or even if they're thick, like this piece is like tinier than this one, so it's going to melt a little bit faster. We'll do a few more here. Let me know if you get the lettering box, if you're already a subscriber to that. I'm so excited about this box. I'll show it in a little bit, but this is the stamp. And the stamp, it's daisies, and it's inspired by the movie You've Got Mail. This one's like barely not melted up there. So let me know if you've seen the movie You've Got Mail. So that was like my favorite movie as a young, I don't know, maybe I'm thinking like a 12-year-old was when that was like, we had the VHS version of it. And my dad has always been a really big fan of Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks together. They've done several movies together. And so I think we got it because he wanted, like, he really liked them, and that's part of why we got it. But then we got the VHS. And I remember my mom would always make me a to-do list of chores in the summer. So do those, and then I'd finish my list, and then I would make a peach shake, so frozen peaches with, like, milk and a little bit of sugar and vanilla, and then I would go watch You've Got Mail every day for, like, the entire summer, and so, like, I had the whole thing memorized. I still do. I need to watch it. um, I haven't watched it, like, super recently, so I need to watch it again, but I love that movie so much, and if you haven't seen it, it takes place in the fall, like, at least it starts in the fall. Sorry, I didn't mean to bump the camera. And there's a line in that movie where, Meg Ryan, who's the main character, says, "Don't you think daisies are the happiest flowers?" It's something along those lines, and so the whole box is kind of inspired by that movie, and so I was like, "I have to do something, with daisies." So, let's see. Super excited for my first one. Yay, Crystal! I found a 15-inch wide charcuterie marble board at Target. That's a great thought, Amy. So yeah, maybe for charcuterie boards. I hadn't thought of that, but I have seen marble ones. So that's a great tip. If anyone's in Target, go see if they have it. Classic movie. Yes. It's so good. It's such a fun one. And so that's kind of the inspiration behind the box and why I decided to do a daisy stamp, because of that line. And the whole box is kind of, it's very fall, and it's like a little bookish. Like, we're gonna letter on a canvas bag that you could take to the library. There's like little sketchbooks. I don't know. It just reminds me of fall. So it's a really fun one. So I'll add the link for it. If you haven't joined the lettering box, I know a lot of you already have. Let me add that in here. But it is gonna be so fun. Let's see. Amy said, "I'm excited about the lettering box. It will arrive just after I get home from the hospital from surgery, so I'll get to have undisturbed, not working to practice my lettering and stills. The box arrival couldn't have been planned better." Oh, awesome. I hope the surgery goes good. But that will be great. It'll be there just in time. So I did notice on some of these when the wax, the gold wax is thicker, do you see how it didn't quite melt to make this little outline? And it's okay. But that happened when the wax is a little thicker and didn't like have time to melt to create that line. So I'm just like rough cutting these first. They're not looking great yet, but I'm not too worried. And I'm just gonna go around. The other thing I was thinking as I was making these today is because it has this little ridge, I'm like, I think I might try some flower sills with this, but that's a great sill to put a little, a hole in it and then a jump ring and use it and attach it to something. So we may be doing that on Monday or Tuesday. I don't know yet. But that was one of the first things I thought of once I cut this out is like, oh, this looks cute as a whole sill, and it looks cute like this. Okay, so we just got this last one, and I have my wax turned off right now. So the one thing I have noticed with this gold wax, and it's not just this gold, it's any metallic wax. Let me show you a little comparison here. So when metallic wax gets, well, any wax, right? When it gets really hot, you get lots of bubbles in it. And so then when you pop the bubbles, then you get they like don't go away. Like they leave like a marking kind of. So this wax was pretty warm when I poured it and I did pop the bubbles. So now there's no bubbles, but you can see how it's got like all those little spots where the bubbles were. Where this one, my wax was pretty cool. Like I purposely didn't want any bubbles to show up so that I wouldn't get this look. So that's kind of the difference. It's just the temperature. And I don't think this looks bad per se, but you can see there's a difference there. So we're going to try to go for this today. And so that's why I have my wax off. I don't need it hot because we're not going to be using it for a little while anyway. So Okay, so now we've got all these cute little pieces here. So we're gonna trim them a little bit more so they're ready. Betty said, I'm addicted to thrifting. My marble pads have all come from thrift stores, candle warmers too. That's a great tip. I have not even checked at the thrift store, but that's a great idea. And you'd probably get it for such a great deal. I love all the lettering box items, but still trying to find time to make sills. Maybe next box I can join. Yes. Yes, I would love it. Okay. So let's get situated here. So now we're going in and we're really going to get these cleaned up. So these are pretty easy. And I don't think I'll cut all of these with you, but it's pretty quick. And I like to just do kind of little kind of cuts off versus like doing the whole thing at once. It seems a little easier if you just do a little section at a time and then keep working your way around. And this sill has those indentations on the side and the top. So we'll cut those out at the very end, but we'll get all the way around the edge. So then it's like this. So it's looking pretty good. And then the last step is I just do kind of 2 little cuts. Usually that's enough to make that little notch. And that is, I think, such a fun detail on this sill is the edge. And then so then it's ready to go. So then that's like the finished one. And so I do feel like this will look better than like these ones just have the bumpy, even when you cut these off and melt them, it just sometimes it's pretty bumpy, I guess. So we'll do a couple of these so we have a few. So like this one, can you see how this part of the engraving didn't come through? So I'll just cut as if it were there. So just if you if that happens to you, then don't worry about it. Just keep cutting as if that spot were there, and it won't be a big deal once we finish it. And just go all the way around. But one of the so I got more Wax Seal Club boxes that arrived today, and then more lettering boxes, like the boxes that all the stuff is shipped in. And then, but I'm also starting next year, I'm thinking it's going to be in March, called the Wax Seal Collectors Club. And it's just one stamp. So the boxes are quite small, but they are very, very cute. And so I'll have to share those soon once I get everything unpackaged and all that. But I did look at just one and folded it up and made sure a double check that my stamps will fit in there, and they do. So that one's going to be so fun. It's a very cute little box. So even though we don't have the edge here, just cut it as if you do and it will be fine. So I'll just do one more and then we'll go on to the next step. So because I know my next step is doing wax, I'm going to check my wax. Maybe we can check it up here so you guys can see another gold stick. Actually, the temperature is pretty great. So I'm not going to plug it back in yet. I may need to plug it in just a second. But let's just trim one more. I kind of want to trim all of them because I want to make all of them, but we'll just trim one more so you guys can see the next part of the process. There's also just something satisfying about trimming these out from going from like this to that is really satisfying. Just like, oh, this is so nice. And it's pretty easy to cut it too. We'll just do this side. And then we'll go around. All right. So that's probably good. So these three I still need to do. I'm going to set them over here. But these three are ready to go. So they're totally cut out. And even like this, I feel like they're cute. And then when I was making these too, I know we're doing flowers and this is fall time, but I'm like, not this sill per se, but this idea of stripes could be really cute at Christmas time for like a candy cane look. Like red on white, and then maybe it's pressed into gold or pressed into green. I don't know, but or a darker red. Okay, let me check in. Are the sills on ice? Mary asked. They're not. I don't have them on ice today because if I'm working with hot glue, I always put them on ice. But with sealing wax, it depends on how many sills I'm making. So I only made 6 and I used 3 different stamps. So this isn't getting hot enough that I'm worried about it. If you're at home though, and you only have one of these, but you're like, I'm going to make 10 of them, you're going to make 10 sills, then definitely put it on an ice pack. It just kind of depends on how many sills you're making. The more sills you make, the hotter the metal will get. So for me, I don't need to in this instance, but if you're making, I would say if you're making more than 4 or 5 sills, definitely use the ice pack just to keep your metal cool. That's one of the biggest mistakes, and I don't struggle with it that much, but in the beginning I really did, where I had so many sills that would get stuck because I was just trying to make them so fast and the metal just gets so hot and the wax is hot and then they get stuck in there. And so, yeah, definitely more than 4 sills, use an ice pack. Okay, so these are ready. Let's test our wax one more time. I'm going to turn it on again while we're getting this ready. So these do stick in pretty well. Of the 6 I already made, I had 1 that popped out, but the way you get wax to stick into a seal so that you can repress it is it has to be a little warm. So I can use my body heat and I can also just kind of press it in and I can test it and turn it like this. And if it's not popping out, it's usually going to be okay. And I can keep holding it like this while I'm pouring the wax. The other thing with these that you'll notice that I haven't decided if I like it or I don't was that they're kind of almost sitting on top of the sealing wax. Like it wasn't like a perfect like sink in. And I don't know if that's because my wax wasn't as hot as it could be, but I don't want it hotter because I don't want those bubbles. But also you can see how thick this wax is on there. It's pretty thick. So that's part of it. And it doesn't really bother me, but it does, I'm just saying it like doesn't look like this, how this is like flat. This is kind of like sticking up a little bit, if that makes sense. But I still think it's really cute, but just be aware that's going to happen. So I'm going to turn my wax off while I'll do the first one and then see if I need to keep it warm again. Okay. And then I'm going to press. And that's exactly what I want. Perfect temperature, no bubbles. So that's what I want because then the metallic just looks so good. Comparatively, this I was also a little bit rushing. And so it still looks pretty, but you can see it definitely looks different when it has had those bubbles in there. So let's do the other 2. These ones I've had on handles because I was doing the pour and scrape with these. So I'll put this in. I turned that off, so maybe I'll turn it on for just a split second and just make sure it's in there, which it is. Off. And we'll pour again. And I'm also trying to not create, I guess it doesn't matter with this sill because most of it's getting covered up. There's 1 bubble. Let me pop it. There we go. But with metallic wax, like it will create lines. You can see it in these. See how there's like little lines in there? As the wax is falling, it will create those lines. So the way to avoid that is to pour the wax as close as you can to the surface so that you don't get a bunch of lines. It doesn't really matter in this instance because this whole white part is covering that up. But so I'm just going to stick that on. You can see it's all dirty from my pour and scrape. I didn't get that cleaned off all the way. And then we'll do another pour. Oh, I did turn it off already. It's such a pretty color. So that one's already done. This one, it doesn't take long because this whole cream part is what's touching the stamp. So it's really just the edge that needs to cool a little bit. But you can see how cute these are. And so yeah, you could totally do the stripes different way. You could do marbling, you could do it however, but the general idea technique stays the same. And you can see that's where I popped the bubble. So then it leaves kind of a little marking, which is fine. But so ideally with this wax, you don't really want the bubbles with any metallic wax, because then it just shows up. These are so cute. Okay, so then let me know if you have questions up to this point. Then our last step is to add the beads. And I just wanted to show you really quick right before we do that. Love them. Thank you, Wendy. I just want to show you what's coming in the lettering box really quick. So you've already seen the stamp. That is part of it. And 2 wax sticks. So a lot of people ask me, because I also have a wax seal subscription, and they're never the same. So it's never the same stamp and it's never the same wax. So if you joined both, it's never duplicates, just as an FYI. But there's this cute little card set. So this is super fun. There's 8 different designs in here with little envelopes, which I love. And this is the early bird bonus. If you order by Sunday, there's these 3 little fall notebooks, which are so cute, and magnetic bookmarks because of the book theme. And then you also get, there's always a workbook. And the last 3 boxes, I've also done a printable so that people will see different examples of how to do the lettering. And this one, I want to throw in a few extra things that are like bookish related, like a book reading challenge type of thing. But anyway, this is in here. And so it has all the things to learn. Plus, when you join, I have a pre-recorded workshop for all the lettering styles. So then you can also watch that. You've got the workbook, and then you also are a part of the Facebook group where you can ask questions. So it really is a great way to learn lettering. When I started lettering, I didn't take a class or anything. I just started doing it. And it was so much more fun for me to learn by lettering on something that I was using. So this is one thing that's in the bag, is this little pouch. So this is an example of something to letter. So this will be in the printable. This one turned out cute, but this is a great little pouch for pens or for sealing wax. And the pen we're using is a fabric color. So it's a fabric marker. It does work on paper too. So I'm going to show how to do the paper one in one of the lives. I think we'll do some quick lettering. But these are the couple examples. So then there's also a big canvas tote bag. So this is one side that's more illustrative, which is really cute. And then this is the other side that says Book Lovers Club with a little heart. It's hard to show it. It's so big. It's not overly big that you don't want to use it, but it's a good size. But yeah, that's what's coming in the box. So if you've ever been like, I've wanted to learn lettering, this is it. This is the time, and I'd love to have you join. The seal that shows the popped bubbles gives an antique rustic appearance, so I guess I don't mind that. Yeah, that's true. I don't think it's necessarily, like, I don't feel like it's wrong at all. Like, I still think it's really beautiful. But yeah, it's just kind of, I guess that's what's causing it. So so then you can decide if you want to change that or not. Okay, let's add our beads here. So this is the glue that I am using. I have stuck stuff like this on with the UV nail polish and then dried it with the light, But I do think long term this is stronger, but it does take longer to dry. That's the only not as great part. Like I usually wait overnight for them. Um, but then it's like a really strong hold. So what I'm going to do is first I'm going to clean off the tip of the glue so there's no like little bits there. And you need just the tiniest little amount. So I'm not even squeezing a full dot. It's like I got a dot and I'm like barely touching it onto the center of the daisy. The first one I did, I got way too much glue, but it's like just touch it down and then twist it off and it will leave just the teeny tiniest dot. And that's all we need to hold on these little gems. We don't need much. And this, because it takes so long to dry, when I was doing it, I did all the sills I had made, got all the glue on, and then after I did the beads. So there's no rush of like, oh, the glue's gonna dry, I need to hurry and put it on, you know? So this little bead set is from Amazon. I'll have to get the link, but you might already have something like this, or maybe it's not pearls, maybe it's little gems or something. But you can also, yeah, if you have something like this, just use what you have. But I kind of liked the look of doing two of the smaller. I'm like, how can I get this a little closer to you guys? What if I put my tape thing? Aha. Is that a little better? It's so tiny, it's like hard to see. So I did the tiniest little pearls on the two side flowers and then the bigger one in the middle. So it's pretty subtle and it doesn't like super stand out, but I kind of like that about that. And I like that it's dimensional. Um, because how we cut out the wax also feels a little bit dimensional too. So I think it's really fun. Okay. And then we got to add the big one in the middle. And this little tool is amazing. If you don't have one of these, you should get one because the first time I made gem sills, I was using tweezers and it was like took forever. But this just picks them up. And it's so easy. And we just need one big one. But I'm like, I'm going to be using these pearls forever because there's so many. That seems bigger. Yeah, that's definitely bigger. I'm like, that doesn't look like the same size. I grabbed the bigger size. So if you accidentally do that, you can just get it off. And the glue is clear. Well, I don't think I want that with the rest of the beads because it has glue on it now. So I might do just a tiny another drop of glue on this one because I got most of it off. Let's see. The seal that shows the pop bubbles. Oh wait, yeah, we already did that. Great idea. Where did you get the tool? I got this on Amazon. So it was like a little set of two of these. So there was a pink one and a white one. But remind me, someone put it in the comments what it's called. Let me see if I can find that. If you guys know what this little tool is called, can you remind me? I can't see it. And then Teresa asked, are the pearls flat back? And yes, they are. So you can see, well, that's hard to see because that's tiny. So here's a big one. So yeah, just flat back. So you could use anything that has a flat back would work great for this. But then that's it. So we can't touch them for a while because like if you touch them now, they'll just slide and move around. So they have to dry. But once they're dried, then that's it. Okay, here we go. A gemstone or jewel pickers is what this tool is called. So, and I can try to add these to the link of the live once I am finished. These pearls and this one because that will be helpful. But you definitely could use whatever one that you wanted. So that's all I have for today. It's short and sweet for today. If you want to get the lettering box, I'd love to have you. The early bird bonus ends the last day to get it is the end of day tomorrow. So if you're going to get the box, you might as well get it then before the end of the day tomorrow so that you can get those bonus items. It's the 3 stitched notebooks that have dot grid paper on the inside, and then the magnetic bookmarks that are really cute. So that's what we're going to do for today. Tomorrow, I'm also going to be doing a live, and we're going to be using these little frames for also another fun project. So tune in tomorrow. I'm thinking it'll probably be around the same 1:30 time, but I'm not exactly sure. I'm definitely going to send out a text. So if you don't already, you can get texts from me that let you know when the live's happening. So just text the word live to this phone number. Just take a quick screenshot of it, and then you can text it in just a little bit. But that way you get a text reminder like 5 minutes before I go live. And if you're available, you can come join us. So thank you guys so much for spending some time with me on your Saturday. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And I'll plan on seeing you guys tomorrow. We're going to be making some fun steals that are going to go in a frame. So thanks, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow.